Hi there, welcome to the Quantum Leap podcast. I am thrilled to be bringing you the latest interview with a member of the cast of the new series of Quantum Leap, Danielle Larracuente. Danielle, welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. I'm so
Thank you
excited
for
to be
coming
here.
on. Thank you so much. We have just seen Danielle in the latest episode, Somebody Up There Likes Ben. So we're going to be talking about that for sure. We love the episode on the podcast. We were so excited about it, so I'm really looking forward to delving into your experiences. But first, I'd love to understand a bit of background about you, how you got into acting, some of the beats through your life, and this explosion that your career seems to have undergone in the last couple of years. You've just been popping up everywhere. So, yeah, tell us about it. Where did you start?
Oh, I'm just so appreciative for that right now. But yeah, I'm actually a child actor. I started at the age of 4 years old. My first gig was Snuggles, and I was very afraid of the bear. I come from New York. I got my bearings and really learned the art of acting in theater. I am a Broadway girl. I was on The Lion King on Broadway as a child and did a lot of theater work and decided to move to LA when I was about 15, I would say. Did a little bit of TV, but then I really took a break and I decided to focus on, who I was as a girl and what was I going to be, and if I really wanted to, because acting was for me. So I went to college. I got my cosmetology license. I did all these things. I became a mom, and then in 2019, after having my son, I said, how am I going to tell my son, hey, go after your dreams if I'm not? So just pedal to the metal. I got back into it, studied for a year straight, learned self-taping, which was not a thing back then. So it was like a
No.
whole new world for me. Yeah, it was really tough at first. And then 2020 hit. I got a role on Vita, and I've just been rolling since. And I'm so grateful and ecstatic, and just so happy to be working.
Fantastic. And I mean, yeah, it's always interesting with child actors. They seem to always go one of two ways. Either they're in the business for a few years and then it's not for me, or they just keep going and I guess get to retirement and look back and say, where was real life? You've managed to balance the two. That's really
Yeah,
impressive.
I want to give all the credit to my parents who are not in the biz at all. They're actually in law, and they always supported me, but they never pushed it, and they were really big on make sure you're really well rounded. And I want you to get an education, and I want you to try different things. And I'm a business owner too. So they're always listening. Like, Danielle, what are you doing now? I'm always doing something. I'm always on this, jumping around. Anybody that knows me, I'm just pretty much like a go-getter. Recently, a director told me, it was so funny. He's like, Danielle, you have one button. It's go. And
I'm getting that feeling. That's coming through loud and clear. So, you started off in theatre, and then is this now you've re-entered the world of entertainment? Have you got any plans to go back to theatre, or is that in the past for you? It's now all about film and TV.
um, theater is very hard, and it is, I mean, a beast of a work, and I love it so much. And a dream come true for me, honestly, would be to go back to The Lion King, but play as an Big Nala. That would be like a cap, career. All right, that's accomplished. So I'm trying to manifest that for myself. Would be a dream come true. So if I'm going back to theater, it'd definitely be that.
And so you've had your one button, which is go, the last couple of years, and suddenly through all this go, you end up with the Quantum Leap gig. How did that happen? How did that come about?
I was in shock. My dad is a huge fan of Quantum Leap. That was his show.
I like him
And
already.
yes, he is obsessed. So he was so ecstatic that I was going to be on the show. I auditioned it, and it was actually super quick. They booked me off tape, and it literally flew by. And I'm so grateful because I'm actually a huge boxing, UFC, anything martial arts fan. That is my thing. Everybody knows Saturdays are my thing. I get my wings. I sit in front of my TV. Like I grew up in martial arts. I'm a black belt in Taekwondo, so I was so grateful. I've never been able to go to a UFC match or a boxing match in person, but I got to do it on TV. So I'm very excited about that.
So, did you, with that in mind, did you know about the background to this episode before you auditioned? What information did you go in there
They
pre-armed
pretty
with?
much just give you. I don't remember if I got the script or not. Sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't. But a lot of times, I mean, I just got the scene. And any of my actors out there, I would suggest. I mean, literally, I dissect that that scene from top to bottom because you will
Hmm.
learn a lot. Where we are. Okay, all right, we're in a boxing ring. Why are we in a boxing ring? Why are we in a locker room? Like I go in, and I also, we get breakdowns. I look up everybody, I want to learn as much as I can and I want to give this character as much justice as I can with the information that I have. So that's what I did.
With your background, because I've just watched the episode. As I say, the podcast team loved it. I do not have a background in watching sports. With your fandom there, do you think it came across as realistic? Was it, because to me it was dramatic, it was entertaining. I have no idea if that was actually a realistic episode.
Oh man, they were freaking B and Ray were phenomenal. Like I don't even know. It looks so realistic. There was moments you'll see. I don't know if it came off on camera, but I was like, oh yikes, that one hurt. They were so good, and I mean, they had not that long of training, and they killed it. I mean, of course, Quantum Leap. They gave us as many experts as they can, and they really that everything looked realistic to me. I was so excited to be there. I was like, I'm at a boxing match.
Yeah, it shows. I mean, you can tell that you're in the zone there. Obviously, the reaction of your character seems maybe excited and also a little uncomfortable,
Yeah.
given what's going on. And that sort of goes on to something I wanted to ask you about, which is how much you could actually see while you were performing, because I assumed that while you were doing all those reactions, there was just a director off camera saying, and there's a punch here and there's a duck here, and you were reacting to that. Were you actually reacting to some real action?
No, thank God we were able to really watch it. Yeah, thank God. The way they had it set up, I saw everything. I mean, oh my God. Ray went down a couple times, a lot of times. And so did B. I'm like, man, poor guys. They were probably hurting after that. But we got a show for sure.
Yeah, we spoke to Ray on Saturday night, and he said he'd such a lovely guy. He said he'd done some amateur boxing when he was a kid, but had to really kind of up his game for this. So
Oh my
um,
God, that is so cool. I mean, how cool is it for him to be able to try all of these things as an actor? I mean, he's literally going to be the jack of all trades. He's going to be able to do everything. I mean, it's just, and it couldn't happen to a better guy. He was so freaking awesome on set. I mean, you forget that he's number one on the call sheet. I swear to you. Like, he's so cool, so down to earth. It was like a family, all of us.
yeah, we're hearing a lot about that atmosphere on set.
Yeah.
Yeah, what can you tell us about that?
Everybody's awesome. So
Yeah.
nice. Anybody who gets on the show or here to just support this show because we need more productions like this. Everyone's so kind. They also give the actors the space that they need. It's very collaborative. It's especially Marcus. He's one of my favorite directors that I've worked with, honestly, because it is like we're doing this together. He talks us through a lot of stuff, and there wasn't that. I didn't get nervous much. It was just so chill and relaxing, and it felt safe and warm. And I'll give you guys a little thing. This was my first on-screen kiss ever, so I was freaking out. Yeah, big
Okay,
time.
I really wanted to talk about the kiss, so okay, I'm glad you went there. Now, one of the sort of acting tricks that goes back to the original series that comes up time and time again is that everyone around has to ignore the hologram. They used to have to ignore Dean Stockwell. Now all the actors have to ignore Caitlin Bassett. You had to do a scene where you were kissing Raymond Lee while his fiance watches you and is giving you daggers while you're ignoring her and thinking Raymond Lee is someone else. What was going on in that scene in your mind?
I wasn't Danielle. I was Angela, and Angela does not see her. So that's it. The Danielle, I was like, this is awkward, But again, they were so cool about it. I was extremely nervous, and Marcus was giving me a little slack. He was like, I'm gonna mess with you and do this, and I was like, please don't. I really could not sleep last night. I was like, my dad's gonna watch this, my first kiss on screen.
Yeah, it's a really fun scene, but it's definitely, it takes as I say, quite a quantum leap trope and pushes it to the next level, because usually those things are played for comedy. You've got the hologram just kind of talking and being ignored, but to actually be kissing her partner, and he, at this point in the show, he still doesn't know that either. Right. So yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, so I don't know if it was that
scene.
moment of like, if there was that moment of like, oh, he doesn't realize that he has a fiance, so I don't know if he was really like catching on. Yeah, definitely. It was interesting for sure.
How many takes? Go on, I've got to know.
Oh my god. I was such in a moment, and I was so like, when you're so heightened, you kind of don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I would say like 7 or 8, I would say, but I can't really remember because I was like freaking out.
Yeah.
Totally freaking out. And oh my god, Ray was so cool about it. He's like, whatever you need, like, don't worry about it. I was like, can I grab you? Is everything okay? And super chill. I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better on-screen kiss.
It looked very natural, despite the fact that as the audience we're obviously looking at this through Addison's eyes and through Ray's eyes. So yeah. Let's maybe talk a bit more generally. The episode takes place in 77, so there's a lot of costume. We've already talked about the sport element, but just more generally, there's the costumes, the props, the set pieces. What was that like walking into 1977?
Oh my god! I mean, it couldn't happen better, because right now I feel like style is going towards that. So the minute I left my first date, I ran to the store and bought some bell bottoms because I was obsessed. I was so excited. I am still drooling over that pink jumpsuit. I wanted it so bad. Oh my god, it was like perfect. They tailored it to me. I'm like, I was born in the wrong era. I was like feeling the little shoulder pads and the little flared hair. It was great. Everybody was loving the style on set. It was so cool.
Did you even ask to keep the pink jumpsuit? Or...
There was like a...
Is there a gap in the Universal wardrobe at the moment?
I know.
That they haven't discovered yet?
Because it was rented, unfortunately, but I wished so much I could. Constantly. If you still got it, if you're able to send it, I'll pay you for it. I love it so much.
We just need a sequel episode. Bring you back. Yes. Bring Daryl back.
Just so I can wear that outfit.
Absolutely. Is there anything more you can tell me about the experience generally, the atmosphere on set? I mean, I asked you about that kind of that welcoming atmosphere that we've heard about so much. Is there anything else about the cast that you worked with that you can share with us?
I would really say that like it went very smooth, which is really great to see, and definitely there was everyone was very mindful of the actor, which I thought was really nice to see, and our craft and where we are in the scene, and really trying to take care of us, which that was, I mean, I'm telling you, like, this was one of my favorite experiences by far. I can't say enough. I could only hope, and I did mention it to Ray. I was like, I can only hope to work with him again. I can only hope to work with Marcus again, and that whole cast. We were like a family. Like, I did not want to leave. I really did not. Everyone was so amazing. That'd be so cool if they somehow he gets jumped back there or something. That'd be so cool. And you can like see where we are now. But again, just the professionalism, just the warmth. Everybody was rooting for each other. I mean, even if like we made mistakes, I mean, it was so quick to like, hey, you got this, man. You got, like, that's not always the norm, and it was just so lovely to see. It really was.
And that interests me, that they were able to give so much focus on the actors, because I think by this point in the production there'd already been a little bit of a false start, and I don't know if they were actually running behind or what, but I know they had to reshoot bits of the pilot. So
Mhm.
I'd imagine that by this point things were a bit frenetic and just go for it and shoot what you can. But from what I'm hearing from you, there's actually, maybe a bit more time to explore making a quality product with quality performers.
Yeah. If there was, I didn't know it. They didn't show it. You know what I mean? If it was crazy, and which what you want, because you want us actors to come in here and focus on the script and
Yeah.
focus on the character. So I didn't feel that at all. I kind of tend to fly high,
Yes.
regardless of others around me, which I think is a really good quality that I've worked on for a long time. Just kind of staying in my lane and staying really positive and being a huge influence for my community, my culture, being Latina out here, and really trying to make a difference and pave the way for others. I'm definitely just trying to create those relationships and show my talents and support my community. So that's all I'm focused on.
You mentioned about supporting your community and the representation.
Right.
Is that something that informs your choice of work, how you approach a character? Can you talk a little bit about that generally?
In a sense of because the character's Latina. Is that what you're
Yeah,
asking?
yeah.
Um, I generally don't because I really my goal is to not be I'm about the craft, and my goal is to not be
Mm,
boxed in on the stereotypes of being Latina. So I've been so grateful. All the roles that I've been given have all been very different, and that's how I want to keep it. I want the world to see that we do everything, and I come from really strong parents that were professionals, and we did it all. Like my mom's a civil rights lawyer in Los Angeles right now, so we are important roles out here. We make difference for professionals or not, and I just get really excited more about the character. And for me, Angela was, she wore heart on her sleeve, which I connected to right away. And she was in a relationship, kind of more because what it was, and fell in love and really put her heart out there and supported, and I liked her, and I hope everybody else did too. And I wanted to show that like they were really in love right there, guys. They really were, and she
yeah.
really had his back. So I thought that was important to show that.
And yeah, I'm glad you mentioned about the love story element, because I think that moment where it's revealed early on, about what's happening there, and there's a beautiful shot of you, that just says so much, as you're obviously sat there looking very uncomfortable, not very happy. How do you prepare for something like that? Because the rest of the scenes you were in, you were very, you were kissing Raymond. There was other bits you were doing throughout the episode. You were in a confident place. That looked like quite a dark place that you went to. Can you share a bit about your preparation for that moment?
Yeah, so my approach to a lot of different scenes, depending on how much the character knows in that moment, or if something traumatic is going to happen to them in that moment in the scene, depends on how much work I do beforehand. So in this case, there was a lot of backstory of how I felt about him, so I did prep for that. It wasn't like he all of a sudden was being a little bit aggressive with me. This was definitely for some time. So I did some work on that, and just tried to be in that moment and really connect. I love to tend to connect to the opposite of that. So focusing on the love and everything like that. And then once I'm in that scene, not getting that love, it kind of gives that reaction, because that's what I really want. And of course, having B play, my boyfriend number one, amazing. I mean, to just bounce off of him, it was a piece of cake. When you have great actors beside you, uh, they feed you, and it was easy. It really was, and I'm just really glad that came across. And it was a human quality. There's a lot of people. I feel like there's a stigma to oh, she's with him, and then she's with him, but just that human quality of she's just looking to be happy and looking for love. So I loved that they showed that.
Yeah, it's a really interesting and believable story, and yeah, it's good to know that that ensemble came together. One of the other hosts spoke to John Chafin on Saturday as well, and yeah, I mean he spoke very highly of the rest of the cast as well. Just yeah, it seems like it was a very special show.
It really was. Like I'm telling you, we were like fam up in there. Everybody was so supportive of each other, and oh my god, John is awesome. And we just had the best time cracking jokes and like messing around, but then like really supporting each other. Um, I wish I could go back.
Yeah, it's quite a it's quite a heavy episode in a lot of places, so it doesn't
Right.
surprise me that there had to be a lot of joking around.
Yes.
Is there anything that I haven't touched on that you wanted to share?
Follow your girl on Instagram at Danielle Larracuente. I'm definitely working out here. You guys are going to see me all over your TV screens. And I'm really making it a point. There's some projects I have coming out. Can't talk about it just yet, but I'm really making it a point again to make a difference and seeing, not being in a box, man, and really showing the Latina community or Latino community in a better light, that we do all things and we are freaking talented out here, okay? And we need to be casted, okay? All the roles, the lead roles, everything. I'm so excited for where the industry's going. I can't wait to see even next year where I will be or where my community will be. So stay tuned.
Amazing. It has been so much fun talking to you, and I mean that really fun. It's been a really enjoyable experience. So thank you so much for coming on the show. And
Thank you. I'm
yeah,
so excited I was invited.
we will all look forward to seeing where your career takes you next.
Thank you so much.
Thank
This
you.
was a blast. Thank you.